Hey there, thanks for joining us. Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley with you right now, and we're tracking a good amount of rain that's already been falling across our News 2 area and will continue to over the rest of today and even to parts of tomorrow. We have a News 2 weather impact alert for a lot of this rainfall, which could result in some minor flooding from time to time. We've already been seeing some of that ponding of water on the roadways across the area throughout the day today. A lot of people kind of hydroplaning at times, a little bit on the highways, so something to cause you to just take it a little easy, take it a little slower than usual as well. Heading into tomorrow, there could be a couple of thunderstorms that we'll talk about for your Tuesday. More breaks in the action tomorrow. Today's rainfall has been pretty steady. Tomorrow should be a little bit more intermittent as we go throughout the day there. So keep the rain gear close, have that News 2 radar app handy so you can kind of track this on the go over the next couple of days. Here's that latest radar across the Piedmont right now as we look at a live local view here. Notice throughout the day we've seen mostly a steady rainfall with some lighter rain at times, then turning a little heavier at times. The thing that we've seen change over the last couple of hours is that we're starting to develop some at least breaks in the action. It's not a steady shield of rain anymore. Instead, right now we're starting to get more of an on again, off again type of situation. Not as many breaks, but there are some that are developing, which might allow you to kind of take the dog for a walk or something when it's not as much of a deluge. Take a look at Guilford County right now. We do still have some very steady rainfall pushing in across the county. A lot of this, though, is pushing off to the north, and you're getting some of that break in the action here from Greensboro downtown. In fact, if we pause this, I can show you exactly where those breaks are. If you're watching us live right now across downtown Greensboro, it's not raining all that much at the moment. Same story along the north side here. You're getting a bit of a break in the action, not too far from Cone Boulevard as well. Lake Brant, Lake Jeanette, Lake Townsend, all getting a little bit of a break in the action too. Same thing over by West Friendly and Friendly Center and over toward PTI. Not as much rain. However, you don't have to really go far to see where it's coming back from. So off to the south, a lot of that rain will start to fill in these gaps, and we'll get more to move our way a little bit later on as we go throughout the rest of the afternoon. Right now, steady rainfall continuing across Mebane and into Orange County, right there on that line. This is right where the Tanger outlets are. It's really coming down pretty good over that way. Not as much rainfall in downtown Burlington right now. So you too are getting a little bit of a break. Farther north you go, the more steady the rain is at this time. We're up in Caswell County right now. The highway marker is blocking Yanceyville, but that's right there in the center of Caswell County where the rain is coming down pretty good at a nice clip. Same thing for Danville, Virginia, and right there across Caswell County, you're getting a good soaking too. Now, Reedsville, you're seeing a lot of rain as well. Same story. This is Wentworth, so if we pause this, that might be some of the heaviest rain that we have in the area right now. I'm looking here along Highway 87 in Wentworth. That's a real steady downpour right now, coming down at a good clip right there between Wentworth and Sandy Cross Road. These are all moving to the north. So when you're tracking these from home today using the News 2 app, you're going to be looking to what's happening to your south, and it's kind of moving off to the north. That's the direction on a lot of these showers. Winston-Salem, you've had a good bit of a break really for the last hour or two. That's been nice to see and kind of catch your breath a little bit. We're starting to see some more rain redevelop here to the south from Lexington off to Welcome and Arcadia. That's kind of pushing its way off to the north as well. It's race week out in Wilkesboro. Let's take a look over here toward the foothills where it really has been raining very steadily over the last little bit. This rain continues to move in from south to north, as I've said. So this is that direction you want to be looking to see what's in your future over the next several hours. Down to the south too, I want to call attention to this. So we're down closer to the Charlotte area. That's Mecklenburg County. We look over here toward Union County and areas like that. This is where you're starting to see a little bit of thunder mix in with the rainfall. So for our area so far today, there hasn't been any thunder. It's all been just a steady, drenching, soaking rain. Now, off to the south, where you're getting some of the breaks, there's a little bit more lift. We call it instability, whatever you want to call it. There's more fuel to pop a thunderstorm. And we're starting to see this here in Albemarle. Looks like Stanley County getting in on some of this, over toward Cabarrus County and Concord as well. These downpours do have some potential to cause a brief thunderstorm. Now, there's a non-zero risk of a severe storm with this weather system that will continue to keep an eye on the rest of today, but especially into tomorrow. What I mean by that is if you get enough fuel, there might be the ability to spin a quick, brief system that could produce a tornado across the Carolinas between today and especially heading into tomorrow. We're not seeing that right now, but I just want to let you know, don't be shocked if that happens across parts of the Carolinas going into tomorrow. Now, we have had some good rainfall today. These are just select totals, and a lot of times they're very localized. So those downpours really put down the majority of the rain in a system like this. And the fact that they're only small downpours means you can have a big variety in rainfall totals, and well, sometimes there's some errors too. Looks like Winston-Salem has already topped about 1 inch. Mount Airy reading especially high, suspiciously high even, about 3/4 of an inch. That makes sense. From Asheboro to Lexington, closing in on 1/2 inch of rainfall today in Greensboro. Similar story over in Raleigh. Siler City, you're working your way toward 1 inch of rain, and those brighter colors, the greens, the yellows, they represent more and more in the way of rainfall. So that's what's been happening so far today across our area. This is a camera I like to use when we're getting into a heavy rain situation. It's not a scenic camera, it's just looking at the creek, isn't it? This is actually maintained by flood gauge by the USGS over here. This is, I believe it's Merritt Drive right there by I-40 in Greensboro. Typically this creek will fluctuate quite a bit when you have a heavy rain event, and we can show this to you by using our time lapse. So notice the timestamp at the top of your screen. This was earlier today around 9 o'clock in the morning. As we put this forward, you'll notice that water level kind of going up and down a little bit as the day goes on. Now, if this were a true flood situation, sometimes that road can almost get swallowed up by the water. That's how much Buffalo Creek can vary. We're not getting that today. We've been in a bit of a drought. We have lots of room to put this water. This is just not going to be one of those days. But even still, we're seeing some rising and falling of the creeks, the rivers, and the streams across the region today. Live look over Winston-Salem. If I step out of the way a little bit, you get a good view. Remember, we said they're in a bit of a break. That's the case right now. It's warmed up to 72, 70 as well, I should say. In High Point right now, it's 68 degrees, looking like a cloudy, drizzly situation over that way in High Point. And in Greensboro, we're looking at our live camera here as well, noticing traffic moving just fine, but there's a little bit of rain still coming down. The heaviest stuff, though, taking a break, as we just showed you on the radar. In Burlington, live view over that way as well, looking at some steady rainfall, starting to lighten up a little bit. Temperature there is 68 degrees. This is a more scenic view over toward the ocean. A lot of stuff has been going on out that way. The heavier waves and everything is just kind of stirred up a little bit. So we have wind and rain out of the coastal Carolinas as well. That's North Topsail Beach in Pender County right now. On the wide view, you can kind of get a better idea of the way that this system is kind of working out. Remember, we've been tracking it for several days. So when we talked to you late last week, the center of the storm was still right about here. Hasn't moved all that much. It's basically just stuck pinwheeling across the southeast. And the way weather works, your low pressure areas have a clockwise or counterclockwise circulation, just like this. So it makes sense when you're on this side of the system, your winds are coming in this way out of the south. Well, where are the oceans here? Atlantic over here, you have the Gulf down that way. That's where your humid air and moisture is, and we're pulling that northward. On the flip side, over here, you're pulling in drier air and wrapping it into the back side of the system. So these systems are always front loaded with moisture. And then as this part of the system comes closer to us toward tomorrow, Wednesday as well, our radar will look a little bit more like this and a lot less like this. So that's kind of where we're going heading into Tuesday and Wednesday. We can look at this a different way. I like to explain anytime I show this. This is not the radar. This is not the satellite. This is called the water vapor image. And what it is, we're showing dry air by using these colors and humid air using those colors. It's kind of like an X-ray of the atmosphere, and we can really explain how the water is flowing. And right now, there's that big, strong, low pressure area, and we are right now in the thick of the humid side, and that's where that moisture is coming from. You can trace it, actually, let me go right back to it real quick. We can trace this all the way back to the Caribbean. So if you zoom out, this moisture plume really goes all the way down. That's Cancun, Mexico. This is the Gulf, dry air in the Gulf right now. But your humidity is right down here in the Caribbean. So you're kind of seeing this go all the way from Cancun to Cuba to South Florida, and then riding up through the Bahamas and into the Carolinas and all the way up to the Chesapeake and DC region. So that's where we are right now. That's the why behind all of the rainfall that we're seeing. Now, Futurecast, let me run that a little bit more slowly. That was even too quick for me to be able to see it. So let's back this up. This is where we are right now. It's estimating pretty well where the rainfall is occurring at this time. Notice, as I said, we're developing some more breaks in the action through the rest of the day today, but it's still going to rain. So if we push this slowly ahead, here we go through about 5, 6, and 7 o'clock. So let's say you're getting home from work, or you got to take the dog out before going to bed this evening. There will be some breaks in the action for you to take advantage of. So I think they'll be able to do that. Now, through the nighttime, we'll probably at some points have some redevelopment as well. This is 9 o'clock. Here's closer to 10 and 11 o'clock this evening. And then here's around midnight. So you see here, showers and storms could redevelop. And even overnight and into tomorrow, we are going to want to watch some of these bands of showers. They could get a little squiggly at times, and that's when you can get in trouble with a little bit of rotation. We could see some very heavy rainfall overnight tonight at times. And then early tomorrow morning, notice the bulk of this, here's 7 a.m. At that point, the bulk of the rainfall is off to our east. So truly, I'm getting less impressed by rain potential for Tuesday as we go along with this thing. It looks like the most of it for Tuesday is going to be out to our east. That would be 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Here's close to 10 o'clock. We could even see some breaks of sunshine for tomorrow. And then as the afternoon wears on, this is when we'll start to see some pop-up showers and storms just kind of redevelop across the area. But tomorrow is not like today where we're socked in with the clouds and with the rainfall. Tomorrow is more of a scattered shower, scattered storm kind of a day for your Tuesday, and quite a bit less impactful. However, I will say some of these that pop up, we're going to have to watch them for a low severe weather threat with a couple of those downpours. Let's keep on going all the way through Tuesday night. And even into Wednesday, there will be that opportunity for a shower or a thunderstorm, even all the way through Wednesday afternoon, as you can see right there. So right now and through tonight is about the wettest that we're going to be with that system. And then as we just go forward, we're going to get a lot more scattered through tomorrow and into Wednesday as well. Here's a closer view right around 11 o'clock tonight. There's the overnight hours where I said we really could have some of that heavy rain moving into parts of the area. And then throughout the midday, you see here getting a lot drier and a lot warmer. I'm going to up our temperature forecast for Tuesday to account for some of that sunshine. And with a little bit of that extra warmth, there could be the chance of a thunderstorm that catches us off guard at times tomorrow and again for Wednesday. So that's kind of the weather setup for the next 2 days as this low pressure area just kind of slowly pinwheels and pivots across the southeast. It's going to take a while for us to kind of dry out completely. So we look at a longer range view. This takes us through tomorrow, but also through some of the rest of the week. We'll continue to see scattered showers for tomorrow and for Wednesday. But once we get closer to the end of the week, by Thursday and especially by Friday, you could notice more dry air is starting to win out. So here's Thursday. We're dry there for the most part, just a lower chance of a pop-up shower or a thunderstorm. And on Friday, we're starting to talk more about heat as well. So it's going to change how we're viewing things a little bit. Let's bring up the flash flood risk, which has been updated throughout the day today. Here's our day one outlook for flash flooding. So right now, today has our biggest chance of heavy rain across the area. We've seen some of that so far. Thankfully, right now, we don't have any flood warnings or any reports of flooding at this time. Tomorrow, our flood risk is still there, but it's a little bit lower, down to a level 1. And then for Wednesday, it's similar to tomorrow, just a low level 1 risk of flash flooding happening at times across the area. Let's pop up the storm reports map and show you if there's been any flooding reports. There has not today, and we probably won't have too much going forward either. As I said before, we will watch this severe weather lookout. This is for today. Risk of a thunderstorm that could pop a brief tornado in these areas. I would expect for tomorrow, they'll probably add our area into a lower end risk of a storm for Tuesday. So let's just kind of keep our eyes peeled on that. As far as rain potential from now through the next couple of days, on top of whatever has already fallen around our area, we could still pick up a 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. This is going forward through the next couple of days, 1 to 2 inches additional on top of what's already on the ground. That's likely based on what we've been seeing. So not a ton more rain on the way, but certainly there will be that opportunity. Here's your 7-day forecast as we go forward in time. It's really going to transition toward hot weather toward the end of the week here. Temperatures in the 70s now. We'll warm up a little bit for tomorrow, and we're going up to the 80s by the end of the week. And heading into the weekend, as of now, looking fairly dry, especially for Sunday. That's your forecast. We'll have more updates, of course, with our news coming up at 4 o'clock, streaming live on air and on WFMY+.